Okay, we're going to talk about the outer mallet now, and where it goes in the hand and how it works, and where this second shelf is. Each mallet has its own shelf that it's going to rest on. So we're going to start by taking this mallet, and I'm going to do this without the inner mallet just so you can see a little bit clearer. I'm going to take the mallet and I'm going to start it out just by being in between these two fingers here, because that's where it's going to go, in between there. So make sure you're there, and you're sort of on the outside of your hand over here. Okay. Now it's going to cross, the mallet shaft is going to cross the second knuckle, or the inner knuckle of the ring finger, right there. It's going to cross that point, and it's going to cross this last line in your hand right before the last knuckle of your pinky finger, in this fleshy part right here. So it's got two cross points, this knuckle and then this spot right here. Now I'm going to go back here, I'm going to put it between those two fingers. I'm going to cross it over that knuckle here, the inner knuckle on the ring finger, and then I'm going to cross it over that meaty part of my hand down in here. Notice the angle of it, that's kind of where it's going to end up. I'll try a couple different angles so you can see. Okay, then it's easy. Once you've got that correct, you know where it's going to cross. These fingers are just going to wrap all the way around the mallet, like that. And you'll notice here it is right on that knuckle, right in line with it too. Really important. Right in line with this inner knuckle on your ring finger, right there. And there it is with the pinky around down here in the ends. Make sure you don't have a lot of mallet hanging down here. You only need a little bit. Okay, so that's how you hold on to it. It's really important that the pinky finger is really doing a lot of work and hanging on to it. Now, it's important to know that these back fingers, while they're holding on, it's a little different than anything you do kind of in normal life. Normally we want to do this with our fingers. We want to grip into a fist type of position. But when you're holding on to the mallets, and you can already see that looks totally different than when I was hanging on to it. When you're holding on the mallets, actually you want to do it more like this fashion. So the mallets are not pushed towards the center of your palm, but actually pulled slightly away from your palm. And that'll help get the mallet in the right position. It'll also help you hang on to it a lot better. So I'm going to go ahead and put it back in that spot, right over the second knuckle in there. And I'm going to point this out to you. Notice my hand is still in that same relaxed position from the beginning. Handshake position. The thumb is still in that upward position. My hand is still flat. My fingers are just curled around the mallet here. Notice that there's a slight upward angle to the mallet. That's because of where my pinky is. Really important there. So now, is there a shelf here? There definitely is, and it's created by my pinky finger and slightly by the outside of my palm over here. But mostly that pinky finger is what holds it against the other side of the ring finger, creating a shelf like this. This finger over here is what my pinky finger is doing, and this finger over here is what my ring finger is doing. So it creates that shelf like this. And you can see I can put some weight on there. That's fine. I can feel it pushing against my pinky, pushing upward against my pinky, but that shelf is still there. So it's important to know that there's actually a lever involved in many levers involved in this grip, or this method of movement, because that's how what it's going to all lead to. So that's how we hang on to that outside mallet. It actually doesn't look that uncomfortable once you kind of get your hands on it. So notice that the pinky finger is almost creating a box, a square out here, and it's pulling away from that center of my hand. So I got this handshake position, thumb on top. This is the second shelf. Pinky finger's got to do a lot of work. Looking good. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and just add in the other mallet so you can see how it all works together. There's plenty of space for it because I have my three fingers free. Just going to go ahead and do it, and that's it all together right there. Notice from the front angle, the thumb is still on the top. The hand is still in the handshake position. Notice there's still that little bit of angle here. Notice that my forearm comes right in line with the center between the mallets, not in line with one or the other of the mallets, but happens to be right in the center. It's partially what that angle there does. Notice the first finger is still in that same curl, that same C that we had from the very beginning. Thumb is relaxed, middle finger is in that same spot, pinky finger here, you can see that ring finger, outer knuckle or inner knuckle, right in line with the mallet. Both mallets have their own shelf. They're really just resting there without me doing any kind of squeezing, with the possible exception of that pinky finger. Side, inside, you can see it. Again, don't have a lot of mallet hanging down here. I think even Lee would be upset with that much. You can kind of see each angle here. It's the full grip. The grip part of it. Everything's resting on the shelf.